Happy Sunday, everybody. Just give us a few seconds here to get situated. Please post any questions you have for our team. Bill and I will be going through live stream AMA as usual. We'll give you a market update. We'll talk about the Square news, and we'll talk about, is this a Bitcoin bottom? Is Bitcoin going to bounce back? Is this month bullish for Bitcoin, for crypto? What are the top altcoins we think that are good to buy during this dip? And any questions you have, just post them in the comments below, and we'll get to it. All right, okay, so let's see who was first on the live stream. This is going out to everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. What's up, James? How are you? P2P, what's up? What are you thinking about ADA's breakout? Well, we'll have Bill to take care of that. What's up, Eric? Hi, Alice. How are you? Jan? Yeah, what's up, Tokenmetrics family? Tachi, what's up? Thoughts on BAT? We actually just put out an email today on basic attention token as part of the weekend chart pack to our customers. So if you got that, check the email. Then we'll also cover that during the show if we get some time. Hey, what's up, John? Hey, guys. Thanks for all the info you guys provide all the time. Thank you. Hey, thank you for all the support. Tokenmetrics family. What's up, Soil? Greetings from London, England. I love London. Oh, man. I wish I could go back. What's up, Bronson? Hello from Australia. I love Australia too. Dave Jackson, what's up? Cambodian crypto. I like that name. How are you? Crypto Chronic, what's up, guys? Do you think DeFi coins still have a chance of recovering? We'll cover that today as well during this live stream. What's up, Noob Gateau? Thomas, what's up on Facebook? Hello, Facebook family. Alamazul, hi, enjoying your shows, man. One love from Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. Awoken, what's up? Lawrence, Bashan, Yan. I was surprised not to see Polkadot in the new investor portfolio. Okay, which index are you referencing to? Okay, and Anthony says, I know MicroStrategy and Square have made investment purchase in Bitcoin. Do you know of any other traded companies? I think those are the only two publicly traded companies that have bought Bitcoin, to my knowledge. I think that's why they've been big deals having Bitcoin on their balance sheet. What's up, Kriza? Crypto family. All right. So I think we have everybody here. Be sure to subscribe and smash the like button. Thank you for getting us to 13,000 subscribers on the Tokenmetrics YouTube channel. And thank you to everybody else watching on other platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope. Yeah, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Okay, all right. So without further ado, I think let's just actually, sorry, let me put out the Mentimeter code since people would like to submit some questions as we begin this live stream. Okay, so let me just briefly share my screen here so people can get the code. All right, so go to minty.com, use the code 5818189. That's 5818189 to submit your questions. We'll go through, we'll answer all your questions, live stream AMA. You have me and Bill here. And yeah, happy Sunday. Let's begin the show. How are you, Bill? How's it going?
I'm good. It's Crypto Sunday.
Yeah. Never
No. We never get on this show and go, God, what are we going to talk about? No.
There is some big news because we had Square buying Bitcoin. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just. So we had Square buying Bitcoin. We had John McAfee getting arrested in Spain. I mean, because we had John McAfee on the show, on the 100X show last year, right? So crazy times. Then also one of the BitMEX founders, the CTO, he posted bond, I think for $5 million. I mean, lots of crazy things happening in crypto as usual, right? But I think let's begin with the market update. So what's your view right now in terms of Bitcoin? How would you play things?
Okay, so When I first started into markets, the first head trader I ever worked for, what is now UBS, he used to talk about at certain points, you'd have what they call a fundamental shift, right? And well, what does that mean? Well, Mike Novogratz says a movement isn't started when the first person does something. A movement starts when the second person does something. And in this case, that's put Bitcoin on a corporate balance sheet. So first MicroStrategy did it. Okay. And then as we know, Square did it. So putting Bitcoin on a corporate balance sheet is now a movement, and others are going to follow. Now, one reasoning behind that could be, again, remember, Bitcoin is considered a commodity by the CFTC. So it's not like holding cash. So in case Uncle Sam decides to take some of your cash balance, or there's a problem with the currency, it's now invested in Bitcoin. All right. So Bitcoin currently is at resistance near 11,300, as you can see on the chart right over here. And it's just sort of hanging out here the way it did over here at the same level right before it dropped. So my guess is you're going to have continued upside. But as you remember from the altcoin bull market, when you get these sort of pauses in Bitcoin, that's when altcoins can really take off. Okay. Now, Ethereum is a similar picture. And now I think Ethereum is going to be kind of a much slower moving player. Ethereum around 375 is sort of a congestion zone. So the way I would play this is if Ethereum goes above 375 and then comes back and retests it, then it's probably got some pretty decent upside. All right. So I don't know if you want to cover it right now, but the next question is, how do you play the market from here on out? So let's begin with some just basics. We saw this coming. I discussed it was like the crash of 87. And it was kind of like trying to guard Michael Jordan, this market, right? You know he's going to take the ball. You know he's going to shoot a certain jump shot, and you just can't stop it, right? So I knew it was going to go down. I knew everyone was going to be hopeless at the bottom. That's exactly what happened. I might have gotten caught in that. But at the end of the day, as I said, when 87 was finally over, when people were like, oh my God, you know, the despair was incredible, lo and behold, the market started to move up. Not mooned, but it started to move up. And I think that's what we're seeing. Okay. We went from euphoria to despair in a month. What's changed other than everyone's P&L and nerves? Okay. So when your nerves are shot a little bit, maybe you turn to artificial intelligence. So this is the Token Metrics Trader Monthly Weighted Allocation. Okay. And let's just verbally give you an idea what's on here. There's Bitcoin, Ethereum, privacy coins like Monero, Zcash, and Dash, Bancor, and Compound. All right. And I think within this and other portfolios I'm going to show you are the keys to what the market leaders are going to be going forward and what is still yet to kind of go up and possibly moon. All right. So Monero, I've been talking about this, like this, got this right. Monero has been in this downward sloping wedge formation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that Monero's sort of like been a basketball underwater. And when you let go of it, it pops above the water and actually all the way out of it. So it's not a freight train. It's not moving, but it's moving towards 150. Okay. And when these privacy coins are doing well, the way I interpret it is that our AI is on point. Okay. And when our AI is on point, it has implications for other altcoins. Okay. Now, if you want to watch for like, okay, now what do I do? Like, what's the signal in the privacy coins I should look at? Let's think about Zcash at $76. Okay. Right over here, there's, you know, kind of a point where if Zcash takes out 76, it could really go up. And if you saw that, that might be a signal to not only get into Zcash, but into other coins. Like that might be when Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other alts take off. All right. Now, also in our portfolio is Compound. Okay. So this brings up, what are the next leaders in DeFi? Where is the place where value investors can get active? The price action in the DeFi coin REN is telling you that we're living in value investor paradise, right? If you get these things when they're depressed and they start going up, they can really, really go up. So I'm noticing Compound just like slowly breaking out here. Okay. Above this point at 114. It's real subtle. Okay. But when Compound moves, it really moves. So I think 200 is possible. Now, equally interesting is Bancor. Okay. Let me see if I can get you some better zoom on the fly here. Okay. Bancor. Now, this shows up in our portfolio and it's at a critical inflection point. One is horizontal from gain work. The other one is, the other one is horizontal from regular work and diagonal from gain work. Now, in the prior bull market and in equities when QE started a long time ago, I had this theory that was kind of like called buy resistance. You would buy something when it was close to resistance because if it broke through, it would move. Okay. And I suspect Bancor may be doing something similar. Okay. May not be the greatest coin in the world, but our AI, the way when it picks coins, right, it'll pick them and you may have to sit with it for a while. Okay. But then all of a sudden, boom, it's up. You just wake up one day and it's there. Okay. So speaking of our indexes, let's go to another one. Okay. I believe this is one of our trading indexes. And I'm noticing coins like Kava in the bottom right, that's doing really well. All right. Band Protocol shows up in here. All right. Now, Band Protocol. So this is like a different kind of coin, I believe this is an Oracle, right? Like Chainlink. Mm-hmm. And I call these like the tech stocks of crypto, right? And this thing was given up for dead. I mean, at 16, everyone loved it. And at 6, it had the plague. I'm saying all these coins were like that, right?
Welcome to crypto.
What's changed? Okay. So what's starting to happen here is that I'm noticing Band Protocol right over here by this arrow. Mm-hmm. It's starting to pop above this GAN line at 7, and the next target could be 13. Okay. So there's a lot of value plays out there in the market. Okay. Now, one of the things that we're also looking is at basic attention token. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Chainlink. Okay. This is our trader monthly price prediction. So price predictions is a really cool thing where basically a computer reads a chart and based on its history, it tells you where it's going. Right. And this is an index where the AI works to find the best coins. Okay. Ian used to work for IBM Watson. He can give you more details, but from an investor point of view, I just want to know what the smart computer has to say. And then I check the charts. So when I'm looking at basic attention token, right? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm seeing something very similar to what we saw earlier, right? It's sort of hanging out right on a big fib number, okay, near 22 cents. That also happens to be on one of my colorful GAN lines, okay? Now, at 40 cents, everyone loved it. At 20 cents, no one wanted it, okay? This has not done anything yet, all right? So this may be something that's got potential to move. Okay, now, maybe turning our attention to Chainlink, okay? Now, one of the things you can see with Chainlink is it came to support, right? So this is the same type of lines that I've been drawing before, except Chainlink came down and hit the line and then bounced back up. You know, as you can see over here, I don't know if you can follow my mouse, but there was that rather rude plunge below all the support, stopping everyone out. Most likely that's the point where Team Chainlink and all the hedge funds were down there buying everything. Okay. This looks like something that was artificially depressed by short selling and hedging. Okay. For whatever reason. And the fact that buyers are slowly coming back in. Okay. This is very important about Chainlink, right? If Chainlink, you know, went up, like if Ren goes up 25% in one day, that's one thing. But if Chainlink slowly moves 5% at a time, right? I think that's bullish. I don't want to see it go up all in one day. I know crypto people love that, but when you're starting a mega bull market, that's right, folks. Because here's the conclusion. This could be the start of a mega bull market, right? Because just like 87, right? It was up for 5 years, 87 crash, total despair. And you can't even find the 87 crash on a stock chart, on a long-term stock chart anymore. That's how much it went up. Okay. So I'm thinking that that is now going to be the case in crypto. And, you know, I know people lost money. Their portfolios were down. You can still do tax loss selling. But the most important thing is to get your head clear so that, you know, again, Polkadot at 7, it was great. At 3.5, no one wanted it.
Yeah.
Long-term opportunity is here.
All right. Well, great analysis, Bill. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions or comments, please post them down below. Okay, so let's just take a look here with the audience and see how we're doing. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Good vibes from Carlton. Thank you. We appreciate it. Likewise, good vibes to you as well. What's up, Anthony? Spartacus says, John McAfee stopped selling Monero. Good vibes. All right. Bitcoin treasures. Please do band analysis. Yeah, so we just covered band. All right, yeah. So that was kind of a nice way to kind of go through lots of interesting coins that people would bring up very, very quickly. Okay, so let's pivot here to the next segment of the show. Just give me a few seconds here. So this is actually the Token Metrics Moon Awards. Since we're kind of, we haven't been covering that too much here, I want to get back to doing that. All right, so it's time for the Token Metrics Moon Awards. And this time we'll be covering the best crypto funds of 2020 as decided by you, our audience, the Token Metrics family. So this blog post published on our site a few months back. We want to kind of just talk about it. So when it comes to crypto and funds, there are all kinds of funds. You have hedge funds and VC funds. And in crypto, there are lots of hybrids, lots of funds that do both trading on exchanges and also do long-term investing, part equity. So we asked you, our audience, during our survey early in the year, back in, I believe this was January of this year. And you all have gone through and voted, and we now want to go through and present the results. So without further ado, Token Metrics family has picked Coinbase Ventures as the top crypto fund of 2020. Bill, what's your take on this, on Coinbase Ventures?
Well, you know, it's bigger is better. You know what I'm saying? It's like these guys and Galaxy, you know, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If these guys put their stamp on something, it gives it momentum unto itself. It's like, oh, we're with Coinbase, right? Or we trade on the New York Stock Exchange, right? It's
like the biggest cosign ever.
Yeah, it's co-signed.
Yeah, I mean, because one interesting thing is because Coinbase is also an exchange, people then begin to speculate that Coinbase will list that project. So, for example, here we have projects that are invested in include Compound Governance Token, or Compound, the protocol, Reserve, which is the stablecoin, Token Daily, and Matic Network. So, I mean, they definitely do have a good track record in terms of projects they have invested in. Okay, now going on to the runner-up, Digital Currency Group. So this was founded in 2015 by Barry Silbert, one of the other well-known crypto venture capital funds. They also own CoinDesk, Grayscale, which is the Bitcoin Trust, and Genesis. So they've made investments in Etherscan, BitPay, Blockstack, Coinbase, Kraken. So they definitely do have a great track record. Have you any comments on DCG, Bill, or Barry Silbert?
Well, not necessarily anything specific, but obviously, one of the things that you like seeing is big crypto VC funds having big winner after big winner after big winner, right? Every tech revolution is hallmarked by guys who catch everything. So
yeah,
it's good to know that there are guys out there who are doing that. It's bullish for the space.
And then runner up for number 2 actually is a fund that Bill likes, being a former Goldman Sachs. It's also run by Goldman Sachs guy, Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital. So I think this and maybe Grayscale, but that's kind of under DCG, but this is publicly traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange. So Bill, do you want to comment about Galaxy Digital?
I mean, Galaxy Digital is great. Its stock is a great indicator of the health of the crypto market. I look at it every day. Novogratz has turned himself into kind of a tasteful, tasteful but stylish, Twitter personality, right? So it's kind of like the old hedge fund kings like George Soros or Paul Tudor Jones, market wizards, if you've ever heard of the book, except he's cooler, right? And, they are just mega long crypto and proud of it. So
now, quick question for you. So you believe Galaxy Digital is the leading indicator for the crypto market? Because you charted it a lot on TradingView. Can you kind of maybe explain why?
Sure. So once upon a time, when they were small, just broker-dealer and trading houses, stocks like Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs and related firms used to be fantastic leading indicators of the stock market. So when the hot trading companies would start rallying, the stock market would start rallying. And in crypto, Galaxy and Overstock, right? I think Galaxy in particular, right? When you see Galaxy breaking out, it means the crypto market can ripple out for days or weeks. So it's almost like the equity market, it's a huge force, right? It's a big, powerful vote. When the equity market's like, yeah, crypto's going to do well. This fund's going to do great, right? And then you start going through your AI and your indexes and you do your chart homework and you're all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, look at these opportunities. Like the first round, it was Overstock that moved, right? Overstock went from 2 to 100.
Which is crazy for a stock.
That's right.
Yeah. And then not quite a fun, but an up-and-comer we think is worth mentioning are the indices, because we're trying to do something very, very special by creating model portfolios that anybody can go out there and follow or use for research purposes, obviously not financial advice. But I think indices are the future, because what Vanguard did for equities and almost all markets now by creating the first index fund in the 70s, what we're trying to do for the crypto space. So creating our AI-powered indices is the way to kind of have the expertise of both the AI and our team, and making that really fully accessible to retail investors and traders. So if we go down here and look at the actual results, so 44% of the votes went to Coinbase Ventures, then 19% to Digital Currency Group, 19% to Galaxy Digital, then the rest went to A16Z and Andreessen Horowitz, Polychain Capital, Ember Fund. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, so actually, I'm pretty surprised because I thought A16Z would score higher, but looks like the Token Metrics family prefers Coinbase Ventures, which makes sense because Coinbase is a pretty big brand. All right, so tell us what you think. Do you think this is the right order for the best crypto funds in all of crypto? Do you think there's a fund that should have had a higher ranking? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. All right. Okay. So moving on to the next segment. Just give me a few seconds here. It's time for Crypto Showdown. This is becoming a staple, and it's always quite the showdown. So we've actually expanded the showdown to include 3 coins. It seems people really like it when we have 3 coins in the Crypto Showdown. All right, so this week's Crypto Showdown, we have repeat winners coming back head to head. So go to menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 5818189. That's 5818189, and tell us what's the best project out there right now. To kind of confine it, let's say short term, right? To wrap up the end of the year, what project has the most upside? Is it 1, Chainlink? Is it 2, Polkadot? Or 3, Uniswap? So go to menti.com and tell us what you think. Also post in the comments as well. Bill, so let's begin by taking a look at Chainlink from a TA perspective, then we'll go to Polkadot and the rest.
Okay, so on Chainlink, right, we looked at Chainlink on the PowerPoint. Okay, now one of the things that I didn't talk about is, first of all, I bought some Chainlink, so full disclosure there.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay.
And, like Marines.
Right. So I picked up some Chainlink because, this thing dipped so hard and it has a buy and hold following. I'll do this in an interrogative way. Why can't this make a new high? Why not? So somebody's got to lead the market on the way up. Okay.
Now, do you think it's possible it will be Chainlink again, like it was last time?
Well, yes, because Chainlink and Ether sort of felt like the leaders last time, and now I feel like it's going to be Link and all the DeFi coins, and maybe some of the oracles below it, right? Mm-hmm. So Ether acts more like Bitcoin, and Link becomes sort of the new Ether in terms of how it moves. And that may drag the Polkadots, the DeFi coins, etc., higher. Okay. Now, if we're looking at Uni, okay, which, again, let's talk about this. So this in the bottom right, as you can see, I'm going old school as usual with a cutout from an Elliott Wave book. And this is called Fifth Wave Extension, which means how a trend ends. Okay. So if you look at the Uniswap chart, it looks like a repeat of that whole monster move from, 4 something to 2 something. Looked like the end of a down move, as in the end. Okay. So again, everyone loved it at 8 and no one wanted it at 2.5. And I think if there's a bid at 3, something like 312 or 307, okay, this could recover and maybe even surprise people. Okay. Because I think this was kind of given up for dead. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to win Crypto Showdown. Okay. But it is very interesting to me. All right. Now I'm trying to get Polkadot up. So let me see if I can get that up here, if Zoom will cooperate. Okay. Now Polkadot hasn't done much. Okay. I think there's a lot of people who are still holding it, who are like, okay, it's going to go up now and I'm waiting, and it hasn't happened yet. Now, the question is, should you get discouraged? My answer is no. You should not get discouraged. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm bringing the chart up here. Here's Polkadot. Okay. Now, okay. Polkadot is now sitting right on a big support point. Okay. It's the 50% retracement of this whole giant spike up. Okay. It's right around $4.16. Okay. Now, sometimes what you can see is here, honestly, what Polkadot's really done between 480 and 3.5 is make kind of a base. It's not the most traditional base in the world, but it's just, it's gone back and forth, and, it's probably frustrated a lot of people. Now, frustration can sometimes be a good thing because people throw in a towel, they give up. It's like, oh, this hasn't gone up. This was overhyped. Hold on a second, folks. With the gas fees that we saw this year in Ether, I know they're going to come out with 2.0 at some point, but all it's going to take is one big Polkadot project. And I think this could really take off, right? Like, so many people liked it and so many people got disappointed that the potential for yet another turnaround is there in Polkadot, right? And Polkadot could be sort of one of these things that comes out of the closet and actually helps lead along with Chainlink.
Okay, very, very interesting. All right, so thank you, Bill. Now let me also pull up what Tokenmetrics has to say, just to kind of see how we're doing here. Now, if you haven't joined already, be sure to join Tokenmetrics. We have AI price predictions, which is by far the most popular part of the website, and we do have discounted trials available for 1 week. You can try out Tokenmetrics for basically $3 and $5. So if you have actually sorry, $2 and $5. So definitely be sure to try that out. So looking at this is our AI price prediction for Chainlink, and at the moment it is bullish. So it has Chainlink going from 1046 all the way to about 1371. So basically going to $14, hovering around there and basically going sideways, which kind of is in alignment with Bill, what he mentioned earlier about Chainlink possibly being one of the coins to lead the up move. If we go to Polkadot price prediction here, now this one is not as accurate as the Chainlink. So this accuracy is 78%. Chainlink's accuracy was 88%. But looking at this, yeah, this one I wouldn't really use it because Polkadot had an issue because if we go back in time here, they had a denomination of the currency. They basically multiplied it, I believe, by 100, right? But by a factor of 100. And that kind of has affected the model. So it takes time for it to kind of update. But if we go here to the last month or so, it is kind of still trying to learn Polkadot. If we go to Uniswap, so our models, even though this is a pretty brand new coin, our models have it basically going down, unfortunately. Basically bottoming at around $4 and staying there for a while, interestingly. But I mean, this is a new coin, so definitely do take this with a grain of salt. Now, once again, nothing is perfect. Neither the AI or Bill is perfect, so not financial advice. Urge do your own research. This is merely just a research tool. But let's go back to Crypto Showdown. So, wow, the winner in terms of the best crypto project, the audience, the community, the Tokenmetrics family have spoken. The winner is Chainlink, followed by Uniswap, followed by Polkadot. Okay, very interesting. Seems like Polkadot has fallen out of favor, and Chainlink, the Link Marines, they keep on winning. All they do is win. Any comments on the results, Bill?
Like I said last week, you're not going to make a living in this business fading Chainlink. Okay. Unless something fundamentally happens with the company. It's not a surprise about Polkadot, right? A lot of hype, a lot of promise. And then sometimes there's nothing more disappointing than when something doesn't move at all. right?
Yeah.
But that frustration can turn into a rally because, as we have said before on the show, the bigger the base, the higher in the space, because when it finally does turn, it can be epic. I mean, can you imagine, Ether at $4?
Yeah.
That probably would have been a good, that's a good investment, right? People say, I
Yeah.
wish I could have done that.
If we had that, we'd be on our yacht right now.
That's right. We'd be doing the show from the yacht. So,
Yeah.
Taking a shot at Polkadot, value investing, right? What's beaten up? Where are people frustrated? What's high quality? What's got good technology? I'm surprised I haven't broken the Token Metrics site. I've just been pounding away on that thing for days.
All right. So tell us what you think. What coin do you prefer? Chainlink, Uniswap, Polkadot? Tell us down in the comments below, and be sure to check out tokenmetrics.com. All right, moving on to the next segment. Okay, so getting back to DeFi, because this has been a pretty popular question. So question of the day. Go to minty.com. Code is 58181895818189. Okay. What are the top DeFi coins to buy the dip on? So if crypto and DeFi is going to bounce back, we talked about how we don't think DeFi is dead. We have 6 options. So which coin here would you buy the dip on? Is it Compound? Is it Ren? Is it Kava? Is it Yearn Finance? Is it Banco Protocol? Or is it Aave? And I put one too many A's in Aave. But yeah, so very interesting. So we have 6 different coins. So go to the site, to Minty, and tell us what you think. Bill, so in your opinion, out of those 6 coins, which one do you think has good upside if somebody were to buy the dip? Obviously not financial advice.
Okay. So, I think if you're a value investor type, Compound is interesting. I think Ren has spoken. Okay. It's up a lot. Ren can act like this. I think anything that's got to do with lending for leverage and speculating, like Ren, Kava, and Aave, are going to start leading again. We're going to do 2.0 the same way we did 1.0. Now with Ren, because Ren went all the way up and crashed right to the 76% retracement level, which is kind of a classic sign that there could be another huge leg up, right? And I know it's up 34%, and we don't necessarily advocate on the show chasing stuff that's up 34% in one day, but this represents leadership, right? Everyone's looking at Wi-Fi. Okay, I know there was a lot of exciting price action in Wi-Fi, right? A lot of stuff for intraday trading, which, as we've noted, most people lose money doing. If everyone's looking at Wi-Fi, if everyone's doing the same thing, it's probably wrong. So the leadership is somewhere else. And we talked about that earlier in the show. So DeFi is not dead. It's just going to be reinvented, and the cream is going to rise to the top.
All right. Well said, Bill. So let me pull up here Token Metrics. So, okay, so we have Aave, Ren, Kava, Yearn, Compound, Banker. So if we just go based purely on the value investor ratings, and we'll just look at which ones have the highest rating from Token Metrics. Okay, so we had Aave. Aave has a Token Metrics rank of 42, Ren 86, Comp 24, Yearn 29. What else did we have here? Banco and Kava. Okay, whoops. Kava and Bancor. So actually, Token Metrics has Bancor the highest. That's mainly based on the technology and fundamentals. Now, almost all these projects, the TA is not there yet. But if we actually switch to trader grade, let's see how this stacks up. Okay, so same thing, Bancor here. is the highest based on purely trader grade. Then what else do we have here? Compound. Yeah, so based on token metrics, it's bullish on Bancor the most. And I recall Bancor had Bancor 2.0 coming, which was going to be an automated market maker that's more efficient than Uniswap. I haven't followed that since a few months back, but I know that was one of the things coming up in their milestone. But okay, so looking here, our audience has voted on, wow, Aave. Aave is number one, followed by Compound, then Ren, then Kava, then YFI, Yearn Finance, then Banco. Banco last. Oh, wow. I'm blown away. Okay, very interesting with Aave. Bill, could you maybe pull up Aave and we take a look at that?
Certainly.
Okay, looking at the comments here, CryptoConic says Ren is all good for now until PolkaSwap. Okay.
Okay, so let's just start with some basics on Aave, right? You have a very high quality item, okay, that goes up a lot. Okay. And this point around 46 cents is the 50% retracement of the whole move up. Okay. It's where the final leg, it's where the FOMO really started, right? And as you can see, as is classic now in crypto, they crash through it and it looks like the absolute end of the world before the smart money comes back in, buys it, and takes it back above the key point. And now it's in consolidation mode. Now, let's take a second to look at an intraday chart because, this is a point that, I want to make, right? So, here's the great news about Aave, right? And everything is acting like this, but this is the best example. Okay, so this is an 89-minute chart. Okay, and what we see is that when Aave went up, it went up like a trend, like it was in 5 waves. So that means you could make an argument that a new trend has started. Now, one exciting thing in crypto is it's actually giving you an opportunity to buy a dip. Okay, that line I just drew, that was a significant technical point before. So right now, crypto is acting like, if you look at the Aave chart, it's acting like a classic bull market where everyone may be bullish, but their portfolio may be messed up and they may be too scared to put more money in. Traders who didn't make enough money on the way down are probably trying to sell the uptick, right? Or they're mad because they missed the bottom. And sometimes when they get mad, they fight it. So just because your buddies are all bullish, that doesn't mean they're all long. It doesn't mean they're profitable. And it probably means that the pain, and believe me, there's a lot of pain felt here as well, that people forget, back in the Bitcoin 2017 days, there was a nasty dip in September or July. Nasty. And that might have scared people away when Bitcoin was about 5,000. And then come November and December, everybody was wearing crypto Christmas sweaters by the time it was over. And this year could be the same thing. I don't see any reason as a chart person, or even as just a common sense person, what exactly has changed other than the fact that, speculative excess and weaker projects may be pushed out, and then better projects are moving in, and then the whole thing can go much higher than anyone thinks.
Yeah. And one thing to add, let me actually just pull this up here on my screen. So I think this is also one of the major drivers driving maybe the bounce back. So Aave is essentially going to rename their token, right? And they're planning to become more decentralized, basically fully decentralized. So they'll be renaming from Lend to Aave, which I think it makes sense because land was went back when they were called ETH land, and they changed to Aave but kept the name, the symbol land. I think it makes more sense to change to Aave as well. So this is being done through a governance, and very interesting to kind of keep an update on how this is growing and what happens. But I think Aave has been one of the best performing DeFi tokens in all of DeFi, because if we go to DeFiPulse.com, Aave has been up there. Right now it's third. It has over $1 billion locked up behind Uniswap and Maker, but Aave has been there. And for anybody who bought the dip on this back in 2018 and even last year, I mean, they've made a killing. I mean, they're probably on their yacht right now. So Aave has definitely been a big win. So thank you to everybody who voted in the Crypto Showdown. Yeah, it was cool. So tell us if we missed out any coins, or if any coins here you think are undervalued. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, so let's check in here with our audience and see how we're doing. Hey, what's up, Mateo? Diego, Crypto Family. ABT is a gem. Okay. A huge buy right now, but it's $48 because of the 100 to 1 migration from Len to Aave. Okay. Aave Gochi. Yeah, I keep hearing about that one, but I haven't looked into it much. Aave still has yet to move. Okay. All right. So in terms of keeping it moving, let's go on to cryptotherapy. So unfortunately, we won't be able to play the audio. Actually, maybe I can. Give me a second here. Maybe I can play this. Okay, somebody with a super chat. Thank you. We'll appreciate that. We'll get to that shortly. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, so let me try this. Let me see if we could play this. Could you hear that, Bill?
I did not get that one.
You can't hear? Okay, yeah. Seems like. Okay, so I'll just read off the question then. Okay. Anyway, at least we tried. Yeah, because I'm currently traveling at the moment, so I don't have my normal equipment with me. So doing this straight from Zoom. Okay, so time for cryptotherapy, where you dial in and we answer your questions. So do you have any crypto question out there you would like to ask Bill and I? Obviously not financial advice. However, we can share our personal opinions. So just call toll free 1-888-90-TOKEN. That's 1-888-908-6536. And submit your question for the Token Metrics live stream. We accept calls from the US and international. Just make sure to check with your phone company to make sure everything's all right. Okay, so the first question, we can't play the video, I mean the audio now, but basically the question was, is staking on exchanges safe? So, I mean, obviously, we're all in crypto, and we've heard the expression, not your keys, not your crypto, or whatever other versions they are. And I mean, is it perfect? No, right? However, it depends on what exchange you're staking on. So me personally, I think the exchanges in the US are safer than exchanges overseas because they have a higher barrier and just more regulation, more compliance, more red tape. They can't, like for example, it's very hard for Coinbase to just exit scam you, right? But it's exchanges with unknown founders in random jurisdictions where there isn't much regulation or compliance. Yes, I would not stake even my worst enemy's tokens on there, right? So it's not safe, but I think it's doable, right? I myself don't stake on exchanges. I prefer DeFi. I prefer non-custodial. I think that's why DeFi is also taking off, because people want to have custody of their own crypto, because we've had issues like with Quadriga, which was actually based in Canada, which is a developing country. So that's one of the last countries you would expect for somebody to exit scam. But somebody did. Somebody just, I mean, I guess allegedly, right? Whether he died or faked his own death, right? We don't quite have the full details, but lots of people suspect that whatever happened, regardless, people lost their money, right? Because they put custody of their crypto into a third party's hands. And I think that's the general issue, right? I personally would not stake unless it's on a big exchange like Coinbase, Binance, and there was no other way to do it yourself. But if there's always an option to do it yourself, then I would always opt for that, right? So that's why DeFi has been taking off. Bill, what's your take on staking? Do you think it's safe to do it on exchanges?
I think it's safe to do it on big exchanges. I think it's a great way to learn how to do it. And frankly, I think when staking and crypto come to the masses, they're going to sort of view it the way they would view a deposit at, say, a firm like a Schwab or an E-Trade. They're going to say, oh, I have these coins, I can stake them and earn something. Right. So I think staking on exchanges is going to get actually quite big, because I don't know that people who are new to crypto are going to go into the depth of like our current audience is doing.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you can do it yourself, you can probably make better money, but I think staking via exchanges is going to be pretty big.
I think the added benefit of staking on exchanges is for the non-tech savvy, just simplicity, because we've heard stories of people losing their crypto because they lost their private key or they lost their wallet or what have you. So that's the other downside of having to custody your own crypto and handle the staking, right? So, and I even know people who sent their crypto to the wrong address. So in a way, working with big exchanges that have maybe easier user interfaces or user experience when it comes to staking, where it's kind of smooth lined and streamlined, it's just simple. That could be the added benefit of using a big exchange. But I would definitely do research on the exchange, make sure it's an exchange that has a good track record. It's been around for a very long time. It's not one of these fly-by-night exchanges where you don't know anybody on the team, you don't know if they even have the money there, right? So definitely do the research on exchanges. But in general, the trustable exchanges, in my opinion, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance. What other ones come to mind? I mean, I would say KuCoin, but KuCoin got hacked for 150 million. So, yeah. I mean, I guess on the positive side, they had insurance, but I'm not sure how long that will take to pay out. But that's the other downside of putting your crypto on exchanges. So, but if you can, do everything through DeFi, right? Try to learn, watch as many videos as you can, learn the process, and just make sure you're doing it in a safe manner. Okay, so tell us what you think in the comments below. Do you think it's safe to stake on exchanges? Tell us what you think. Okay, all right. So moving on to the next question. Okay, this is a question we've kind of answered as well, but it does come up a lot. Is yield farming sustainable? Okay, so first thing first, I would say go to our channel and watch the video from the Tokemetrics Roundtable with Ohe Madi. He had one of the best ways for any newbie, whether newbie, advanced, or anywhere in between, explaining how to yield farm. Like, he's a yield farming expert, and he went through the granular details that even I didn't know, right? In terms of how to evaluate projects that you plan to stake or allocate your capital to, especially if they're brand new, because most of these projects fundamentals don't matter. So you have to look at other ways to go through and vet, such as looking at the contracts. If it's a fork, looking at whether they've cloned their code from some other project, what variables or parameters they've made changes to by checking the difference in the code. So very, very advanced stuff. Highly recommend you just go to YouTube, type in Tokemetrics yield farming, and the one with Ohe Madi in there. Okay, but anyway, back to the question: is it sustainable? No. I mean, it's not sustainable, but I think that's besides the point. I think it's basically a trading game, right? It's the coin of the week, a flash in the pan. As long as you understand that's the case, just make sure you're not putting all your capital at risk. You're putting a very small part of your portfolio. I would say less than 10%, probably even less than 5%. And just go through the process and know that, okay, this is basically a short trade. Only the only big name projects are the ones that maybe will have long-term staying power, but even with them, their rates will not be sustained, because Compound was the first project to launch and really innovate with yield farming, and even that ended up crashing, right? From a TA perspective, because it's basically an airdrop. People are getting free tokens. They get those tokens, they dump them on exchanges, right? So the question is, if you're in it for the long term, understand that, right? And then I've mentioned before in the past, I would not recommend buying tokens that can be farmed. I would just farm them, because that's basically free money. So for example, if you have ETH, you put it on Compound or any of these other DeFi protocols, let's say SushiSwap or what have you, just put it there and just get your free tokens. And if you're in something that's very, very brand new, that has, let's say, 1,000 APY, and you know, okay, that's definitely not going to be around in the next few months, then you take profits, right? You take your money and you run. What do you think, Bill?
You know, when I first heard the term rug pull, I said to myself, crypto has a unique feature, unlike any other market, that it can just F itself with silly things and blow up an entire trend, right? So, okay. So yield farming, I think when you're doing it, you need to know that, especially when you refer to the video, you're up against people who not only are crypto financial savvy, but they're also like blockchain and tech savvy. You know, you're swimming with the sharks. Okay. The term farming makes it like, oh, it's, you know, docile little
simple
funny animals in a field. No.
Sharks.
It's like Pacific Ocean, you know, that kind of stuff. So just be mindful of that. Use it as a learning experience. I think it's the way crypto is building an interest rate system. And I also think like it's good, like when you have the kind of price action you had in say Wi-Fi, or maybe the down move in Compound to a lesser extent, but definitely this spectacular rise and then fall of, you know, the next Bitcoin, you know, every time you hear that run in the other direction. So, you know, yield farming is for crypto experts, I think.
Yeah, and it reminds me of the quote, was it by Buffett or some famous investor? If you're at the poker table and you don't know who the patsy is, you're the patsy, right? Or if you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker, right? So if you're going into one of these new DeFi coins and you don't know who the sucker is, right? Maybe it's you, right? So be careful out there, crypto family. Okay, all right. On to the last question for crypto therapy. All right, so will 2017 coins moon again? Very, very good question. So I would say honestly, no. I mean, because if we go back historically, if you just look at the top 10 coins in CoinMarketCap every single year since CoinMarketCap began keeping track of them, it's basically musical chairs. So the same projects that were in the top 10, like what? I mean, I haven't forget some names. Like there was like, was it Purecoin or some other projects? But I mean, it's basically musical chairs. I know when I got into crypto in 2017, the coins that were really doing well, like Stratus. Stratus, I think, did a 1,000x. But I mean, after 2017, when it dumped, I haven't heard much of Stratus ever since then. Because when I got in, it was in the top like 30 market cap. And now, where's Stratus? Let's take a look here. Let me just pull up CoinMarketCap real quick. Let me share my screen. Right, so the project, so it was Stratus. So Stratus now is 152 market cap. So it basically crashed because if we go back to, all time, it was at $12 back in January 2018, $14.51. It's now at 44 cents, right? So now, does that mean every product will never bounce back? No. No, I think if anything, maybe 5 to 10% will come back to really being big projects and will moon again. But expect 90% of them to never ever moon again. If they do, the entire market is mooning, and you're better off being in other coins, right? Because one thing we've kind of learned with crypto is it has that sexy new coin syndrome, right? Everyone's chasing the next coin. So why would somebody chase an old coin that mooned that is now dead when, from a historical perspective, 90% of them never bounce back, right? That's why this new bull run was driven by new coins, DeFi, right? From Compound to Polkadot to Yearn Finance to Balancer, all new coins. Even the last bull run, 2017, was driven by new coins, ICOs, right? The Icon, Wabi, Dragon Chain. So people in crypto just cannot get enough of new coins. So I think in the next bull run, it will also be new coins. And yes, there will be a handful of projects that are old that will moon again, but I think less than 10% of that. And it's very hard to find those projects. You have to really do the research. That's why we have tokenmetrics.com and our team doing the research for you to find those coins that could possibly moon again, right? Bill, your take?
Okay, so when someone says, will the 2017 coins rally again? I think you obviously covered it, right? The 1000X followed by the crash, that's done. But you can sort of get creative with the question and say, can the Coinbase coins rally? That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. And now there's a whole host of, I don't know, new altcoins that are on Coinbase. So can the stuff that trades on your dad's crypto exchange rally? Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's how I'll answer it. Okay. So again, I've been banging away on the site and I was looking for coins that the TA is currently bearish, which means the people are bearish. And then I filtered it by hitting the technology. Okay. Whoops. By hitting the technology and getting the best technology scores. Okay. I'm determined to get this right because this is important. Okay. So I went looking for TA that was bearish with good technology. So all the TA that could turn, and look what's at the top: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, okay, Binance, okay, Cosmos, all right, and then some stuff that we like in our indexes: Dash, Zcash, Helium, okay. People have been asking me about Neo, right? And as you scroll down, you're seeing Monero, okay, VeChain, etc., right? If you do it by fundamentals, okay, again, who's at the top but Bitcoin? All right. So I do think 2017 coins can rally. We don't talk much about Bitcoin. The show started by saying we're kind of in an altcoin phase. Folks, before the end of the year, there's going to be a Bitcoin phase. Right now, hopefully it's not bad for alts, but there's going to be a Bitcoin ramp at some point between now and the end of the year. When I saw Charlie Shrem write about Square, when he says, this level of adoption is happening faster than I expected, I was like, oh no, everything has mooned this year. Stocks, all kinds of stuff. At some point, it could happen. So not the 2017 alts, but maybe the 2017 bigger coins could do something.
All right. Thank you. So tell us what you think. Do you think 2017 coins could rally again, or do you think they're done for? Tell us in the comments. Okay. All right. So let's check in here with our audience and see how we're doing. Hey, what's up, everybody? Blank Pink Fans, what's up? The big E3 2. What happened to Matic? I don't think it's rallied yet. Okay, all right. So let's go back to the super chat here. So question is from, let me just record this. All right, so question from Aaron Moore. Thank you for the super chat. Do you guys think stock to flow will be accurate in 2021? Best guess, what will be the Bitcoin high in 2021? Okay, all right. Obviously, I mean, nobody knows is the real answer, but we can try to speculate, right? In terms of where Bitcoin will be in 2021, that's tough. The first, I would check tokenomics. I'll just check the price prediction to see where Bitcoin will be in November, because then that will kind of give us an idea of where it's going in 2021. So if I pull up tokenomics here, so if we go to price prediction for Bitcoin, okay, so this has Bitcoin as we approach November being at around 12,000. So kind of a slow, gradual movement towards 12,000. Right now, it's actually 11,300. So actually, right now, Bitcoin is higher than where models would have predicted it's going, which is actually a good sign. Right now, where would it be? I mean, in past videos, I've mentioned I think Bitcoin could go as high as 50,000. So now that was very speculative, but that was based on looking at the historical price of Bitcoin and how high it went up with each bull run. And I think with each bull run, it ends up reducing by a factor. I have to go back and check the math, but my prediction was 50K, but obviously I'm just pulling that out of my ass, to be honest. Right? No AI there. Keeping it 100 with you guys. Bill, how about you?
Okay, so I think when you start, there is a thing in technical analysis where you just look at even numbers, right? Like, Bitcoin has spent so much time at 10,000 that it's going to take something powerful to move it away from 10,000. Now, most likely what will happen is it'll just go find the next level to sit at. I personally think it's 20, right? In other words, somebody on Twitter said something powerful about Square. They said the number one reason why Square bought Bitcoin is because they were afraid not to be long. They were afraid it was going to moon and they were going to miss it. So that just led me to believe that, the way it'll work is Bitcoin will sit at 10, it'll go to 20, and then it'll sit at 20. Right? And you've got to be on it the way Galaxy is, because Galaxy's sat all year and watched DeFi go up. That's Novogratz. They sat all year with Bitcoin and gold. They watched everything go up, 5 and 10x and crash. And they're sitting there with their stuff, with their Bitcoin and their gold. And then one day, Bitcoin will have its movement in this moment in the sun, and it's either going to be 16 or 20K. And then it'll go there and sit there for a while. Probably becomes a stable coin at 20K the way it's been a stable coin at 10. Yeah.
So actually, I found the image or chart I used to make that prediction. So this basically is showing what happens after each Bitcoin halving, right? So looking at this chart here, so we had a bull market for 243 days back in 2011. And if you notice, each bull run basically lasts longer, right? So he had 243. Next bull run after the first halving, 2013, was 368 days. The next bull run after the next halving, 2017, was 525 days. So back when we looked through this, it was just basically just looking at, okay, the bull runs are longer, but the returns decreased because this was 177x return. This was 92x return. This was a 29x return. Right, so it's basically decreasing by a factor of. So this was by a factor of about 2 or 3. This is kind of the same, right? So if we assume the bull run will be longer, but the returns will be lower, because that's kind of what historically has been happening with each halving. So that's how we ended up basically at around 50K or so. I think it was like 45 to 50K, a prediction. So not quite pulling it out of my ass. But hey, tell us what you think. What do you think Bitcoin will be? Actually, so this prediction I think goes all the way until like 2022. So what do you think Bitcoin will be in 2021, based on the question from the audience? Curious to see everyone's prediction. Okay, all right. Okay, one more super chat. So, question from Vincero Speedwell. Your take on NFTs? Those are non-fungible tokens. Are they next ICO DeFi boom? Okay, so I mean, we kind of answered this question on the last live stream. It's getting very popular. I know meme token has done very well as an NFT. Maybe Bill could pull that up from a TA perspective. I don't think they're the next DeFi or ICO boom. I know there's been lots of interest in FOMO in them recently after DeFi kind of had a huge correction, but I don't see that happening. Although there are big players getting in this space, right? So we know CryptoKitties and NBA Top Shop, which is licensed by the NBA. Then they also have some other game coming out licensed with the MLB, Major League Baseball, which is big, right? Because we know sports and collectibles are basically cards. Is a pretty big industry, but I'm not sure if it's going to take off and be huge. I mean, I know lots of people are talking about it, but if you had to ask me, I still think DeFi is the bigger space than NFTs in the future. But I mean, hey, if they could figure that out, like if they could figure out how to get collectibles and games and make them tradable on marketplaces, that would be amazing, right? Because I do play video games here and there, like NBA 2K. Like if we could like get all the achievements we earn in any game and sell them, that would be quite a big market. But I've heard that story, that narrative since 2017. It has not panned out yet. So I don't think it's going to pan out at the moment. However, I am getting more involved at myself, right? So I am on NBA Top Shot. I'm not about anything yet, but I have kind of just been keeping tabs on how the entire process works. Bill, what's your take on NFTs? I know we kind of joked last time about Pokemon.
Right. So, okay. So, this is a 4-hour chart of meme. Is this right? Up here in the corner? Is that, if I got the right symbol?
Memetic, I think it's just MEME. I'm not sure if it's tradable. It might be on Uniswap only. Let me take a look, actually. Yeah, meme USDT might be one. Wow, that's looks like a pump and dump. let me find out what exchange it's on.
Okay, so while I come up with the chart, let me just make a comment about sort of this theme. Mm-hmm. I think everyone assumes that because DeFi fell apart, that there automatically has to be some sort of new thing to take its place, right? Like the DeFi stuff's dead. It'll never moon. Therefore, we have to come up with something else that'll moon. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's right. Okay. I think the NFT space is going to have winners. Okay. All right. So I've got my Uniswap chart up here.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes, this is going to do well, but I don't think it's going to do well because DeFi is dead. Like, in other words, I don't think this is like the only game in town. Okay. So I want to point out a couple things about this chart. This is actually pretty interesting. So this is a 1 hour chart of meme on Uniswap, right? I've got the right symbol. Mm-hmm. So there's one attempt to go up and then it retraces, right? And then there's another attempt to go up and then it retraces. Okay. And this, in Elliott wave terms, is called the series of ones and twos. It's what a market does right before it really takes off. So this NFT theme, in other words, we've witnessed on this chart, we're watching start, stop, start, stop. And that's usually a prelude to a much bigger move. And it looks like, you know, what did they do? What do they always do? They run stops. They make it look awful right here below the line. And then now it's come back down and it's holding. So I think when it comes to this theme, yeah, there's stuff that's beat up. I know there's value investing to probably be done in that space. But I think that is not a replacement for DeFi. It's just a component of the whole crypto system. Whereas I think people were like, okay, DeFi is dead. Everything's going down. Let's change the subject. But yeah. No. But buy the dip and what you like that you think is good.
Yeah, well said, Bill. So tell us what you think. Do you think NFTs are the next boom in crypto, or do you think it's just a flash in the pan? Tell us down in the comments below. All right. Okay. So, all right. Thank you, crypto family. Now the time for us to get to the rest of the AMA questions. We had lots of questions to get through. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen here as we pull up the questions. This is on Helium. Thanks a lot for the Helium info. Got my hotspot a week ago. What are your thoughts on where the price will go, and also what it means when you get HNT tokens from being in a consensus group? Okay. Okay. First of all, congrats on Helium. It has been weathering pretty well, even in the downturn. Disclosure, I do own Helium. I've been very, very bullish on the project. I bought some on exchanges and I've been mining it. Actually, to show you how much of how much I love Helium, I've been traveling here in Florida, and I brought my Helium hotspot with me. So everywhere I go, I plug it in, trying to kind of see how the area is with the Helium network. But yeah, I mean, so as we have Bill pull up Helium, let me also pull it up here on Token Metrics and see what our AI has to say from a price prediction perspective. But in general, Helium has been pretty resilient. I think mainly because people are making money from mining it. Like, I know people making $2 to $3 grand USD a month just mining it. Right, so that extra incentive makes people hold the token during corrections. And then to add on to that, all the trading pairs they have are in USDT, in Tether. They have no ties to ETH or to Bitcoin. And I think that's been pretty helpful. So looking at this, our models for Helium have it going from, it's like 142, going up to about $1.92, and kind of staying around that in 180 for the next month or so. Obviously, this could be wrong. Just to give you an idea of where the trend is going, this is a rolling price prediction, meaning that it updates with every new daily close, getting that and putting that into the historical data to make a future prediction. Bill, what does the TA say on your side?
Okay, coming up. Okay, so looking at Helium. So the good news is it looks like Helium is moving in a 5-wave structure. Okay, so it looks like a new trend is starting. Now, right here, you can see helium kind of hit a little bit of a wall. Okay, mm-hmm. That's where the avalanche started from. So I think when you have a coin like this where people love it and they're just getting coin after coin after coin, it's like a jackpot. You can probably expect selling at resistance, right? And it may take a while. I don't think this move is over, but there may be like a digestion period around $1.30 somewhere in here. Okay. And then I think what helium winds up doing is, like the model said, this avalanche that started here, okay, that was kind of the helium crash, right? I think that just gets unwound, right? So helium is in the process of like finding where it's balanced. First it was 20 cents, then it was $6, and then it's probably a $2 coin.
All right. That's great. The model and the human align. I like that. All right. So tell us what you think. Are you bullish on helium? I know you mentioned something about the consensus group in the question. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that term. I'm guessing you mean about the nodes and mining and basically how it achieves consensus. I'll probably just reference the community or the documentation, but my understanding is Helium Network uses the Honey Badger Byzantine fault tolerant. And then in terms of how it earns tokens, you have to have, they recommend having at least three hotspots, more than 300 meters apart, basically, but within range, to be able to earn the most number of tokens. So meaning that if you have just 2 hotspots, that's not ideal, because you have to have 3 hotspots to be able to issue a challenge and for the other one to be able to earn rewards. That's kind of my understanding of that. But basically, recommend you go to the forum and the community on Discord. Okay, all right, moving on to the next question. Okay, all right, so this is about a project. Okay, so thoughts on a project called Flow. Heard about it recently, so wanted to know your opinion. Yes, so we did share our opinion on this to our professional group on Token Metrics via the biweekly call, and also and anybody who has access to I would say anybody on the investor plan on Token Metrics or higher. We also did put out a tech review on this project, so recommend going there. But if we go here, so in general, pretty much, I mean, CoinList has been killing it. CoinList right now, I think, has the best IEOs out there. They have the deal flow, I think, because they're backed by Union Square Ventures, and just being based in the US, they can get access to all these great projects. And Flow, for those who don't know, it's the platform for a new generation of games, apps, and digital assets that power them. It's basically a blockchain being built by the company from CryptoKitties. So with the CryptoKitties team, after the issues they had last time, when back in the last bull run in 2017 and towards the beginning of 2018, where CryptoKitties could not scale on Ethereum, they ended up building their own blockchain, and they have lots of partnerships already, right? So as you see here, UFC, NBA Top Shot, Ubisoft, Warner Music Group. So our team has looked at it, and the technology is solid. So it is solid. That's all we can say for now. Do go to tokenmetrics.com to view the full code review, but the tech is solid. Actually, I would say very solid. And I'll just leave it at that. However, that does not mean go out there and just FOMO buy the token from CoinList. I think this is closed. Yeah, so it closed on October 6th. This was an auction. But in general, our stance when it comes to these IEOs, treat them as a trade. Don't put in your life savings or your rent money. Treat it like a trade. Most traders put in 1 to 2% of their capital into a trade. I would put in that same amount. And then, but if you like the project long-term, wait for the FOMO to die once it launches. Because most projects, once they launch, kind of as I mentioned earlier, you have that shiny, sexy new syndrome of new tokens. So they pump, then they dump. And that's when value investors come in to accumulate. I think that's the best time to get projects with solid technology to accumulate for the long term. So a project like this, we're still finishing up the fundamental review, but fundamentals don't really matter right now in crypto. It's just been purely technology. And even from our ratings going through, the best predictor has been technology. So this project having good technology and good backers, long term, we think it's definitely a project worth keeping an eye on. And wait for the FOMO to die down once it launches, once it dumps, and then if you like it, look to accumulate. Bill, anything to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much said it, right?
Yeah.
Buying these things fresh out of the gate has never worked, and we're not anticipating that changing.
Yeah.
Right? It's what you can pick up after everyone else has given up.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Moving back to the AMA here. Okay, this is a question about MetaMask. Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too.
Thank you.
So question, I tend to look for cryptos that easily store on my Nano Ledger for security. Am I then missing out on many good cryptos? Is MetaMask as safe? Okay, very good question. So basically, is MetaMask safe? So, right, and are you missing out good cryptos? So I would say using MetaMask with a hardware wallet is safe. Using MetaMask by itself is not so safe, right? So I use MetaMask. I love it, but I only use it with my hardware wallet, right? So hook up your hardware wallet to MetaMask and then enjoy DeFi, right? But I think you definitely are missing out on projects if you're concerned about MetaMask. I've heard concerns as well, but I would say the stories you hear about people losing money through MetaMask is not really through MetaMask. It's because they were targeted through a phishing attack, meaning that whether some random anonymous person sent them a link with a virus or a link to a scam phishing website that pretended to be MetaMask, that's what you want to avoid, right? Only download MetaMask from the official MetaMask website, meaning that go to Google, go through. Actually, here let me share my desktop because this is, I think, something pretty vital for people in the crypto space. So let me share my full desktop, which I don't usually do. So one plugin I have that I think everybody should have is called SimilarWeb. So if you go here, this shows you the rankings and traffic for websites, but it's also a great way to figure out if a site is legit or not, right? So for example, if we go to, let me just go to MetaMask on Google. Just give me a second here as I type that in. Okay, sorry, I don't want the medium. So let's say we go here, right? So there's metamask.io. Let's say you go to some scam MetaMask. Actually, let me first open this up here. All right, so we have this metamask.io. Then, not sure if there's any other MetaMask, but let's say somebody gets you to go to the wrong MetaMask. That's how they usually get you, right? Because anybody can clone a website and put it on their hacker domain, and you go there and if you're not using a hardware wallet and you type in your private key, then they get you, right? That's how they typically people get hacked through fake MetaMask, right? But so let's say we come here, and I don't know if this site is. Let's say I don't know if this site is legit or not. Having this plugin will let me know if it's legit, right? Because if I go here and I see, okay, this website gets over 1 million visitors a month, I know it's probably the actual MetaMask website, right? But if you go into a site that you expect to get a ton of traffic, but it's not showing up here, it makes you look at the domain and see if there's maybe an error, right? Because what some sites could do, let me see how this would look, right? So let's say there's a site that's called Meadow. Okay, I guess that's not working. But some sites will basically play around with a domain name and trick you, right? So that's one way to protect yourself. One of the way to protect yourself is actually I would recommend going to changing your DNS server. It's called Quad 9, I believe, DNS, right? So we're now kind of getting techie, but don't worry, we do have a guide we plan to put together for how to protect yourself from a security perspective. But Quad 9 is a DNS server, domain name service. So meaning that when you go to the internet, all websites have an IP address. It's basically a phone number, but people don't actually type in that IP address. They type in the website domain like google.com, right? And then that name gets translated to an IP address using whatever DNS server you have. So most people use their ISP, the internet service provider, whether it's Verizon, Comcast, what have you. But some people change it to Google. But I highly recommend changing it to Quad 9 because they have very great security and it's free, and they can filter out spam and scams and phishing attacks for you, right? So I think this is something definitely worth looking into. It's free to use, backed by, they work with IBM, my former employer. This is highly recommended by lots of security experts I talk to, right? So this can filter out some phishing sites, right? Because they keep track of what's happening on the dark web. And if they come across lots of phishing sites, they will block them for you, right? So highly recommend getting this. Highly recommend even getting, if you want to get super technical, right, getting a hardware firewall. We're probably getting too technical, right? But some simple ones are even just purely software-based, such as Pi-hole. It has a very interesting name, but Pi-hole DNS, for example, right? So this is mainly used for blocking ads, but it can also be used to protect you from different hackers and phishing sites in general, right? But anyway, back to the main question, right? Since I was kind of getting down the rabbit hole of security. If you have good security, and I would say in general, if you have, like, let's say Quad 9 as DNS, and if you're just conscious of what sites you access, such as having a plugin that tells you is this site legit or not based on traffic, and if you only access websites from the official sources, such as, so for example, if you go to MetaMask, only download the extension from here, right, on this site. I would not just go into Google Chrome Store and just search for MetaMask, right? Because let me actually take a look here. They might have lots of, right? So for example here, right, I wouldn't just find it here. I would go to their main site and access that from there, right? Because if we go here and type in MetaMask, let me take a look. Okay, so Google has done a good job of filtering out all the others, right? But in general, MetaMask is safe if you use it with a hardware wallet and you have good security, right? And never put in your private key online or use a hardware wallet. If you do that, you're good to use MetaMask, and you won't be missing out on any of the new coins and DeFi. Bill, anything to add to that?
Sure. So are you missing out if you're not using MetaMask? Yes, because MetaMask is like the gateway to the pioneering second chapter of the crypto revolution. It started in 2017. Now, you just heard Ian, who is obviously a tech savvy guy, who's the point man for all the AI that Token Metrics has. And so he's a good guy. And you just heard how much he knows about technology. So you can just flip it around and imagine how much the bad guys know about technology. Yeah. So you do want to have a hardware wallet. You don't want to have all your crypto in one place. Okay. And you want to make sure that you manage risk accordingly. Don't put the rent money in MetaMask anywhere. I know that's so easy to say, but when you're like, oh my God, it's going up and I need a new computer. And, that's why we repeat ourselves, not because we want to be annoying, because we know that we want to help you. And the way we do it is by repeating that over and over again.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. So thank you, Bill. And thank you for the question. All right. So let's move on. So we're getting lots of technical questions. Change of pace. Okay, so best layer 2 savior for Ethereum, Matic, XDAI, OMG, Loom, or something else? Okay, good question. So I think let's use Tokenmetrics to answer this question, since that's why we have ratings. So if you haven't joined yet, be sure to join tokenmetrics.com. Okay, so you said, let's begin at the bottom. So Loom is definitely not. Tokenmetrics rank at the moment, 103. Right? You said, let's do XDAI. Okay, I thought we had XDAI in here. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, I think we're probably still wrapping up the review on XDAI. But technology-wise, XDAI is legit. Right now, ignore the overall grade because we don't have the other grades. But technology-wise, it is legit, right? So 83% code grade. If we compare that to Matic Tokenmetrics rank is 6th. We've always been bullish on Matic, even though it hasn't really performed. We think from a technology standpoint with 87, and based on its market cap of basically 70 million, it's very, very undervalued. Then the other one was OMG, Tokenmetrics rank 23, right? So if we go purely based just on technology here, let me see. Yeah, so I would say you basically have Matic and XDAI. So we have Matic slightly more higher than XDAI, but we have to finish the XDAI fundamental review, right? But those are I think are the two options. Now our team, because we have been building or prototyping, building a decentralized asset allocator for our indices, and we've been looking heavily into this as well. And one project that caught my attention was Starkware. So I think that's also part of the Reddit competition as well. But yeah, I mean, in general, in terms of tokens that are trading, because Starkware has no token to my knowledge, I would say Matic followed by XDAI, followed by Amisago, although Amisago has a larger market cap and they are on Coinbase, I believe. Bill, how does the TA fare for those projects?
Okay, so I started with OMG because I've been watching this and I'm really interested in this, because this has had, this is the start stop repeat. So there's the start and here's the stop. And obviously here's the start, and the stop on this one has been this gigantic retracement that involved this huge give up right here. I mean, this is like I drank tequila all night type of thing. And it looks like everybody gave up on this with the start stop formation in place.
Lots of tequila right there.
Yeah, a lot of tequila, right? I mean, that was like 10 days where it looked like Amisago was going to zero. Right. So this has got a lot of potential, I think. Right. Now, Loom, I'm just going to have to pick it up on the fly. I'll look at it versus Bitcoin. Okay, so this is kind of what I would call the Matic look, right? Where it went straight up and then it just kind of cracked. Okay. But the thing is, it's a similar thing, right? It's unwound everything it did the way Matic did. I think Matic is better in the sense that, it's probably formed a base, okay? A better base to do something different, right? In other words, Matic will rise again because Matic has been doing the whole base thing, right?
Yeah.
It cracked.
Oh, man, yeah.
Right? And then, everyone gave up right here. Okay, here's everyone giving up on Matic. Okay, and lo and behold, the level where everyone gave up on Matic also happens to be the takeoff point for the rally. It was right here. Okay. So, this is a great question. Matic looks like a buy. OMG looks like a buy.
Yeah. Now, could you check XDAI? XDAI?
Okay.
Let me find out what exchange that's on. Actually, is that even trading yet? Because I thought it was trading. Let me. Yeah, XDAI stake. It's trading on Uniswap and Poloniex.
Okay. I have it here. Okay, again, this is the same theme, right? Whatever this theme is, everybody gave up on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes all the way up. In some ways, this reminds me of Ren, right? It went all the way up. Okay. This is the 76% retracement. That's kind of like the line, like, where it retraces like 3/4 of the move, flushes everyone out, makes it look terrible. And then lo and behold, it comes back. Okay. One of these coins or all of these coins could take off, right? It could be good to have a portfolio, or if you happen to see them on token metrics, like which one has the higher technology grade? Do any of these show up in the AI rebalances? I don't know. I saw on the site that it looks like right after we get off the air, the best reason to immediately subscribe, there's lots of reasons to subscribe, to immediately subscribe is our indexes, our weekly ones, rebalance as soon as we get off the air. So, I like to have my charts all set up and then see what, the computer has to say about what's next. And if any of these coins pop into those portfolios, get involved.
All right. Well said, Bill. So tell us what you think. Which project are you more bullish on for layer 2 scaling for Ethereum? Is it Matic, XDAI, Amisago, and the other one was Loop Network? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. I'm seeing here a comment from Benji. If you like XDAI, get on Honeyswap and get some HNY and sweet drips from the honey faucet. Okay, quite the terminology. All right, thank you for that. Okay, all right, moving on. So now we're talking about privacy coins. This was actually part of the newsletter, and we did talk about this on the call with the professional customers. With all the regulations coming, do you think privacy coins will be the next thing? Monero and Verge, maybe the new ones on ETH, like OWL, Stealth Protocol. Okay, so I mean, I'm not sure, but privacy coins have been acting almost like stable coins during the correction. I know Bill covered the Monero in the weekly newsletter analysis. So let's take a look at Monero, Verge, OWL. I've not heard much of OWL, but here we can pull up Monero price predictions, as Bill also pulls that up on his end. So if we go to Monero here, and the other one was Verge. So let's pull them up here on token metrics and go straight to price predictions. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Monero has had a pretty good September, right? Actually, the price has been higher than our predictions, and our predictions have it going as high as 119, basically 120. And if we go to Verge, let's see if Verge fares the same. Okay, maybe not quite the same, but it is. So it's at 0.004. Prediction have it actually going down and then going back up. So basically, just being flat. So not bearish, but not so bullish. But Monero has been doing pretty well. Bill, what's your take with the TA for Monero and Verge?
Okay, so let's go to Monero. Let me just pull this up here. Okay, so Monero's leading the pack. Okay, Monero has had this, the entire time, all of 2019 to 2020, Monero's been making this formation where bears or selling, or I don't know, everyone's been trying to sort of hold this thing down, and it's not working. And probably the biggest commercial for Monero was when, I don't know, the IRS offered all this money to try and hack it as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you have these downward sloping formations that make squares or triangles, the market will travel the width of the formation from the point of the breakout. You're like, oh my God, it's been an hour show. What are you talking about? You give me a headache. Okay, that's why TradingView's got this function where these little blue lines, okay, so I can say the formation was so big, and that will lead to a move to 150. So I think Monero can go to 150. I think when it comes to Verge, okay, I'm not getting the same vibe. Okay, I don't have a formation necessarily that's popping out at me. Okay, but this is pretty beat up. I don't think every privacy coin can win, right? It's a little bit worrying that, if all the privacy coins are moving and this one isn't, that's a little bit of a concern. I'm not freaking out. Okay. Certainly as a value investor, you might want to take a look at it, right? Because we have looked at coins that have not moved, because, Verge used to be a lot higher in price.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying? So I can look at it this way. It doesn't look like much, but if you look at it this way, it's like, wow, a privacy coin lottery ticket. Okay.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new term. Okay. It's going to be called bail-in. Bailout was 2008. 2021 is going to be called bail-in. And that's going to be governments going into your bank account and just taking some of your money.
Yeah.
We're not going to, you don't have to file taxes. We're just taking it. And, I think that's why some of these coins are doing well. I also think there's inflation in the emerging market world. Dash, which shows up in a lot of our AI portfolios. Okay. Very big in Venezuela, accepted by fast food restaurants there. There may be adoption in privacy coins in terms of using them to pay for things, not just because they're privacy. So, because again, whatever started in Venezuela may become a trend elsewhere, including here. Okay. Everyone's like, what's the 2021 prediction? Everyone acts like when 2020 is over, everything that's unpleasant in 2020 will no longer be true. No. If everybody thinks the same thing, it's wrong. So this privacy theme could have legs, and it's worth doing the homework, which is why I've been doing the homework.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Okay. So actually, I want to answer a question here. Well, not really a question, just more of a statement. And so, I mean, basically the statement is we should, somebody's complaining about the AI price predictions. What's his name? Let me take a look here. Yeah, Bad and B. So, I mean, one misunderstanding people have that seems to be causing way too much confusion. So if we go to the price predictions here, right? These are not fixed price predictions, right? These are rolling price predictions. What does that mean? That means that it updates after every daily close, right? We've put out lots of videos out there, but we understand it's an issue. So our team is working on updating this to have two different kinds of predictions to make things easier for people to understand. But basically, our models look at the historical price. So today is October 11th, right? So it looks at every price for Monero up to October 11th. that we have in our system. And it will then use that price to predict the next 30 days, right? What does that mean? That means it's looking at every price that has closed, that has officially closed. So if you come back here after a week, yes, the prediction will be different for the next 1 month, because now we have a week's worth of data that has officially closed and is now historical price. And that 1 week will then factor into the prediction to predict the next 1 month. Right. So that's the confusion some people have been having with the predictions. And our team is working on trying to see how we can make that a lot easier for people to understand and trade off. Right. So basically, how should you trade the price predictions? So I would say use them as a way to kind of forecast where the trend is going. Right. Do not come here, make a trade, and vanish for a month and come back and expect the thing to be the same. Right. Because if you vanish and come back in 2 weeks, there'll be 2 weeks worth of new closed historical data that has been added to the prediction, right? But past predictions do not change. Past predictions are the same, right? Once that prediction is closed, it's final. Sorry. Once the actual price is closed, it's final, right? And that closed price is then used to make that prediction, right? So that's basically that. Now, the way we plan to make things a lot easier to understand for everybody, we do plan to launch 2 new grades. Well, actually, we're doing a complete redesign of our grading system to make it easier, right? To actually make it, to simplify everything we have, because we have too many grades and it's getting too confusing for people, right? Because we have trader and value investor, then we have the final grades, we have fundamentals, technology, monthly TA, we have the price predictions. So what we're doing is we'll have just 2 grades, trader and value investor, right? And those grades will be basically the final grades, the overall grades. All these other subgrades will vanish, right? Because we think it's too confusing for everybody, right? So the new value investor grade will basically be the quant grade we've talked about in our backtesting that has obviously not perfect, and this is not any kind of investment advice per se, but in our backtesting, it has 76% accuracy, right? And then we've come up with a new trader grade that combines the monthly TA grade with the price prediction grade to form 1 grade, because the accuracy on that in our testing is 68.5%, right? And that's based on basically combining the 2 grades and then using our AI models to come up with a grade on that, right? So, I mean, this has been backtested, and we think having these 2 grades is better than anything we have thus far, right? Because for perspective, a good trader is about 55% accurate, and a genius trader is about 60% in terms of accuracy. So to get this to this new level, it's still going to take some time, right? And we think this will be for the better for the platform, and it will also allow us to fully automate everything, meaning there'll be no more human input. We can then just, for example, import new coins and grade them a lot faster. Because as you see, one of the feedback we have is we have lots of projects that are still scoring because we have humans going there and actually doing the analysis. But now we have a very great system to go through and automate the process through the new grades we have, right? So we plan to hopefully have that by this month. Our team is still making some changes because we do have to basically redesign the entire grading system. And then we'll also have to create new indices for those, right? So for example, if we go to the indices page and all these indices we have, everything will change to be based on those new grades. And we think that will be a lot better, right? So that's kind of how that works. But as usual, we're always open to feedback. If you have any feedback, just go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com or just email our support at support@tokenmetrics.com, or just contact us at the bottom right-hand corner. But yeah, that's kind of the new updates coming to Tokenmetrics. But just know we're always innovating. We know last month was pretty rough for crypto and also the indices, but we've learned. We know exactly what to do. The indices now are back to recommending stablecoins, regardless of what people say. All right, so that way, when it's time to hedge, it will actually hedge, right? Any comments to add to that, Bill?
Yes. So when it comes to price predictions, think of it this way: a computer is reading a chart. It's trying to use the last 30 days to predict the future. It's doing the same thing that I might do. It's using its brain to try to think about the future based on what it sees from the past. Now, those systems, like human chart readers, usually do better when the market is trending. When the market gets choppy, they can still work, but they may not have the incredible, art museum beauty we had in Chainlink on the last leg up. So it's not perfect, and it usually works better in a trending market. Now, that said, the market may start trending. So now is definitely not the time to get discouraged on price predictions. It's time to find some coins you like, get involved, and then if price prediction kicks in your favor, use it as a tool to add to positions. Okay? In other words, use it as confirmation of what you think. Don't use it to be what you think.
Well said. Well said. Great words of wisdom. Thank you, Bill. All right. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, let me see if we can find one last question. Then I think we'll have to wrap up because we do have to go. Okay, let me see. Okay, maybe let's check the comments and see how we're doing here. What determines when Token Metrics will analyze a coin? So we typically get coins from our private group, the professional plan, right? Just because they kind of take preference. So if they have a coin they want us to look at, we have our team look at that. Then also just community interest, the comments here on YouTube, our feedback channel, different platforms we have on social media. Okay, all right. So I'm trying to see if there's any major questions we missed here in the comments. Okay, lots of people are talking about icon. So maybe let's do icon analysis, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Bill's going to be pulling up icon. He'll be doing TA on that. I can also pull it up here on our ends with the price predictions and see how that's doing. So icon, I mean, talk about a fall from grace, but I mean, the community is amazing. Lots of interest in the community. They've been very passionate. They've been building, and it's been trying to bounce back, right? So as Bill pulls that up here, I can also pull up the price prediction. So if we go here, this is the price prediction model we have for icon. So this has been basically, yeah, so we have it going all the way to about 34 cents, basically between 34 to 36 cents, kind of going sideways. Not really seeing much of a large movement up or down from icon. If anything, is kind of trending downwards. Curious to see what Bill has to say from a TA perspective.
Okay, so I'm pulling it up here, and charting icon is a lot like charting ADA, right? So this is a 4-hour view. Okay, now what icon did is the same thing that ADA did. It looked like it was going to break out. Like this over here was very exciting, right? It's like, oh, it's finally going to happen. And it's like, oh, and then it comes back down. Very disappointing, right?
Yeah.
Just makes you want to give up, right? Well, what do I like doing when everyone gives up? Buy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody's got to lead the next move, right? somebody comes out of nowhere, and it is theoretically possible. I don't know if it's Icon. I'd like to see Icon get above 41 cents. This has got to do something, right? But it could do something. It has potential, right? It's kind of like in athletics, right? You know, you might see a lot of talent in a player or a lot of physical prowess, but can actually play the game. And that's what, you know, both ADA and Icon chart wise are trying to do. Okay. Because, you know, if ADA takes out, say, 41 cents or maybe goes to 50 cents, you know, it could be on. Okay. So somebody's going to win in the second half of the year. It may not be Icon, right? If it goes above 41 cents, it's going up probably. But whoever's asking these questions is thinking the right way. It's like, hey, you know, let's dive into the dumpster and see what's all beat up. Okay. Because when this thing wakes up again, it's going to make the first leg look like nothing. If you go back in Bitcoin history, if you look at the chart, the whole chart, you know, some of the hugest rallies in Bitcoin don't even look like much. If you look at the whole picture, right? Okay. Yes. It might've gone from like 250 to 500. So you know, it doubled, but big picture, that was nothing. The same thing could be happening in these DeFi tokens, right? Where, you know, we could go back and laugh. Goes, oh God, remember when everyone was all upset in 2020 when it was at 20 cents, when it's now at $4?
Yeah, I mean,
somebody's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, Icon definitely has memories. One of my first 100x investments back in 2017. Yeah, all-time high was like over $12, and it came down now over $1. I mean, under $1. I mean, so going back to a question from earlier in the show, can 2017 projects moon or rally again? I mean, I think Icon was still good technology. Like even on our site, we have it as having good tech. The space is more competitive. Now you have Polkadot, which kind of took the thunder because it has better technology and it's much newer, right? And bigger community and more funding. So all these different things kind of play a factor. But I mean, if you like Icon, the community is strong, and we think it definitely does still have some potential. So right now it's probably going to be going sideways based on what the AI says and kind of based also on Bill's input. But I mean, if it's going sideways, as Bill said, it's probably a good time to accumulate and go long. And with that being said, tell us what you think on Icon down below. All right. Okay, Bill. So to kind of recap or wrap up, any last words for our Token Metrics family?
Don't get discouraged. Okay. A couple calls I had, I even got caught off guard by people asking me, you know, I was up 2x, now I'm down 60%. What do I do? That is a really tough question to answer. It took me a week to think about it. Don't get discouraged. Get rid of whatever losers you have to get rid of to get your head clear. And you're like, well, my head's clear. And then if I told you to take the amount of capital that you have in crypto and double it, assuming you had the money, double it and get in and shop. Because if you can't shop here, folks, real quick show next time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go shopping for the stuff that you like.
Yeah. I mean,
take a shot. I mean, why not? Buy the dip. If it's giving you the chance to buy the dip, do it. And you get stopped out, you lose a little. So what? If you win, the upside can be big.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. I mean, kind of like as we say in basketball, shoot your shot. You know, sometimes you just gotta put it up there. Sometimes it's a Hail Mary. All right. But I mean, if you can't buy when prices are on discounts, then when can you buy? Right? Because kind of as we keep on saying in the show, you don't want to buy when everyone's trying to buy, because that's how you end up buying the top. You want to buy when everyone's trying to sell, because that's when you get the best discounts. So to our Token Metrics family out there, do your research, subscribe to Token Metrics, subscribe to the show, Give us a like because it helps us with the algorithms out there. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a very active show. I think one of the most popular shows we have thus far. So we appreciate you being here with us on a Sunday night here on the East Coast. With that being said, the moon is not the limit, to the moon and beyond. Thank you, crypto family.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Bill.